for us today, I think it's super important that we go ahead and get started with this, and let's just see how you did. I think the first bunch were kind of easy because they were just one-step equations that you can kind of do with your mental math. All right, is everybody with me on that? The other thing is, I just want to tell you about your iPads, because I noticed some of you, I put the answers up on the board, and I noticed that you had the wrong answers on your iPad, and I'm not sure how that's possible. All right, in order for us to use your iPad, you have to commit to me that when I write something on the board and you have something different, then you have to kind of check your work on that and correct your mistakes. It doesn't do any good to have the wrong answer written down. Also, some of you are super sloppy. All right, we can't have super sloppiness. All right, I don't mind if you write sloppy, but you should be writing in block like I do, step by step down the page. All right, there are some problems on there. I wrote all the workouts. If I'm writing all the workout, that means you probably should do what? Write the workout also. Because then some of you said I didn't know how to do them. Well, you didn't know how to do them because you didn't write down the notes to how to do the problems. All right? So, again, let's go ahead and get started with today. All right? Now, for whatever reason, I know we have some more, but it seems like you guys just keep getting pushed to the front. All right? So I want you comfortable. I'm not sure how much you can see. So, okay. So will you scoot back just a little bit? You're fine. You're fine. I just have to have room. All right. Perfect. So you're good? All right. And again, remember, now today and tomorrow are by far the most important days because it's your opportunity to say, hey, I don't know how to do that again. Explain it. If I go through the problem and you don't ask me a question, then that means you what? You understand it. And then when you see it on the quiz, you're not going to come back and say, well, I didn't know how to do that. Right? That's how it works. And I made a note here. Right? The quiz will look exactly like this review. There'll always be a 3 or 4 ERB SAT type questions at the end that are challenging, but the majority of the test will look just like this. All right? So here we go. Number 1. I'm pretty comfortable with everybody just telling me x equals what? 2. X equals 2. All right, I know that's kind of easy. All right, you should be good. Fractions. How do we get rid of fractions again? Multiply by the reciprocal. Everybody should be able to say that. Multiply by the reciprocal. And what's the reciprocal of 2/3? 3 over 2. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the 3 over 2 here, even though some of you are like, well, I already got that. All right, I'm okay with that. But you just don't want to make a mistake with your fractions. All right. Now, what did I tell you? These guys cancel, and so x is equal to. Now, should I do 18 times 3 or should I do 18 divided by 2 first? Divide by 2 just makes the number easier. I know you know 18 times 3 is 54, and 54 divided by 2 is 27. I know you know that. All right? But does everybody agree if I did 18 divided by 2 and get 9, and 9 times 3 is a little bit easier? That's what I'm trying to show you. All right, so my answer here again was what? What was it?
Negative 27.
Come on, speak up, guys. Negative 27. Remember, it's not my fault if you can't raise your hand and say, whoa, I got something different here. Tell me.
I'm confused on how to multiply by those.
So what you're doing is you're always going to do this divided by that. What's that? And then times that. Right? Because, and I'm going to push this off to the side a little bit so I can show you. This is, now I don't do that because that looks like a what? That looks like an X. But that's multiplication. You with me on that? So this fraction sign is a what symbol? Division. So you should do 18 times 3 divided by 2 or 18 divided by 2 times 3. Super important. Yes, good for you. Loud and proud. Come on.
On the 2/3, do you just always just multiply by?
Always. Because look, here's what I'm showing you. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 2 divided by 2 is what? 1 times 1 is 1. There's an understood 1 to be there. Right? It's not 0. Agreed? They always cancel out. When you multiply by the reciprocal, they cancel out. All right? That's the whole objective of working backwards, is isolating the variable. Okay, so now I just put a decimal on here just to check yourself. All right? So, bless you. Everybody should be able to tell me x is equal to 0.65. Any issues with decimals, lining them up, practicing without a calculator? Then soon enough we'll be able to use a calculator. All right? Everybody happy? All right, number 7. I tried to fool you a little bit here. Are you allowed to have fractions as answers? Yes. Fractions are better than decimals. I don't want you to tell me that 7 divided by 9 is 0.7 repeating, negative. Right, I'm sure you knew that. 7 divided by 9 is 0.7 repeated, right?
Yeah.
But that's not necessary. All right, that's why we leave it in advanced math, we leave it as a fraction. The reason we leave it as a fraction is because that's the exact answer, not an approximate answer. Everybody happy with that?
I didn't get how you do this.
How do I undo multiplication? All right, so let's talk about this. Several of you raised your hand. So mathematically, I'm dividing by -9. Dividing by -9. What happens to the... Thank you. These guys cancel. I'm left with the what? I'm left with the fraction. Do you agree? Okay, so here's what you're asking me. Pay attention now, everybody. This is a good question he's asking. If I said, what's -9 divided by 3, what's that? -3. What is 9 divided by -3? -3. What's -9/3? So why am I telling you that? It doesn't matter where the negative goes, on the top or the bottom or out in front. As long as there's what? One negative. Does that make sense now, right? I can put the negative on top. Watch. I can put the negative on top, I can put it on the bottom, or I can put it out in front. Traditionally, we put it out in front. You'll never really see a fraction with a negative in the denominator. Does that make sense? Can it go in the denominator? Yeah, but just traditionally, they don't put it in the denominator. All right, and sometimes I'm kind of sloppy when I write, but technically it should be this. You agree with that? Everybody okay? One negative. It's either the top, the bottom, or out in front. All right, let's check out number 9 now. All right, does everybody agree we have to add 6 to both sides, right?
Yes.
So then we should say that 3/5 x is equal to 9. Everybody happy with that? And then, of course, we do the reciprocal. So I'm going to put the reciprocal right over here. And so x is equal to, somebody? 15. 15. Because 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Yes, William? As long as you got 15. All right, now I'm trying to also tell you, you guys learn this. I always try to show you the most efficient way. Does everybody hear me? There's different ways, but sometimes it's not as logical. You hear what I'm saying? So I really prefer that you try to think about the way I'm showing you. All right? But if you did it a little differently, that's okay. Like 9 times 5 is 45. 45 divided by 3 is 15. That's perfectly fine. What?
Well, I don't get how you got the 9.
Okay, so that's a very good question. Here we go. How do I undo -6? Shh. Right?
+6.
Is? Right. So what did I do? I left out this step right here. +3 plus 3. I'm sorry, +6. +6 plus 6. And then these did what to each other? Cancel. Is that good now?
Yeah.
Super important. Good job. Speak up. Everybody. Anybody have any other questions? Let's move on. Here we go. Now who remembers this from the review? What do I do to both sides? Multiply by 7. All right, we multiply by 7. All right, so I'm going to put a 7 over here just so you can see it, and a 7 over here. And these 7s do what? Cancel, right? So now I have x plus 4 equals what? negative 21. So now x is equal to negative 25. Yes, sir.
So for that, you just take the denominator and you put it up top.
And I'm going to do what with it? Multiply it. You agree with me on that?
Then how come you got negative 25?
How do I undo a plus 4? You agree with me? All right. Do you want me to write it down, or are you good? All right. Listen now. Sometimes now I'm asking you questions. If you're still not satisfied, you just keep right on asking. Do you hear me? All right. Keep asking. I don't care. All right. If you're not satisfied with the explanation, keep asking. Everybody's good with that, right? Yes.
So all you do is just multiply by the denominator.
Yeah.
And then do it like one substitution.
Yeah. Exactly correct. Except this one is a little bit different because normally we get rid of the addition or subtraction first. This is the exception to the rule. All right?
So for these.
Yes, exactly. All right, now we're on two-step equations. So here I prefer that you do minus 3x plus 8 plus 8. That's how I'm hoping you're thinking about it. Now the reason we do that is because now these cancel. Bless you. So now I have what? 4x is equal to, so x is equal to 4. Yes, ma'am.
I thought like this was to move the so like x and together.
Yeah, we did, right? Tell me. Because don't you agree I moved the 3x with the 7x, right? And then I moved the negative 8 with the positive 8. And then remember, I want you to remember this. Whenever you move something, you do what to the sign? Change it. So if it's positive over here, it's going to be what? And if it's negative over here, it's going to be what? Right? So this is a positive 3x. Do you agree? So on the other side, it's going to be a. And this is a negative 8. So on the other side, it's going to be a. That makes sense, right? All right. So 4x equals 16, x equals 4. You agree? Anybody? Anybody? All right. Here we go. Now here's a proportion, right? So what do we do with proportions? Tell me about it. Cross multiply. So 2 times x minus 3 equals 2 times 3x minus 4. For those of you guys who forgot, we did this multiplication, and then we did this multiplication. Everybody okay with that? Any issues? And now we distribute, correct? So we can say 2x minus 6 equals 6x minus 8. Now, could you have it in the reverse order? Yes, you can have it in the reverse order. If you have it in the reverse order, 6x minus 8 equals 2x minus 6. Same thing, same answer, same problem. Everybody okay with that? Now remember what I told you, I always like to try to keep the variable positive. So if I like to keep the variable positive, and this is where I'm starting at right here, I prefer to move the what? I prefer to move the 2x over here, and then I prefer to move the what? The negative 8 over here, because then my variable will be positive. Everybody okay with that? So what do I mean this time? This time I'm going to do a minus 2x and a plus 8. Now again, these cancel, these cancel. So I have what? 2 equals, now of course everybody puts x equals 2, but of course all those people would be what? Wrong. X equals what? No, definitely not. X equals, yeah, but we say a fraction, 1/2. If you said 0.5, do I care? No, but it's just more important when you get to higher level of math, we use fractions. What's the matter?
Oh, we
That's right, it's possible. All right, yes, ma'am. Because I have to divide both sides by what? No, divide by 4. And what is 2 divided by 4? 1/2. See that? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
How can we bring the outside numbers over to the other side? Because before, like when you bring -8 over to -6, you're bringing -8 over to -6, or do you bring
Either one. Either one. So look right here. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do this now. 2x minus 6 equals 6x minus 8. Minus 6x minus 6x plus 6 plus 6. This is just moving the variable to the left. You hear me? And then guess what? I get negative 4x equals negative 2. X equals still 1/2. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter how you do it. I just think dealing with less negatives is better. You agree with that? You understand?
So why would you cancel out the 4x instead of the 2?
Because I'm isolating x. You're always eliminating everything around x. You agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, quick.
I don't understand what you did. Did you cross multiply?
Yeah, because you just did what? You went to the restroom, then you came back, right? And now you're behind. You with me? So it's not really fair for me to have to explain things when you're not in the room. You understand what I'm saying, right? Now, again, this is where I always try to tell kids, that's why I like the video. You know what I mean? If you're, for whatever reason, you didn't hear, right? I always want to help, always. But when you leave the room and come back, it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? All right? So I'll show you there. Cross multiply. You agree? Then distribute, then collect terms. Okay? And like I said, 15, look at the video. 17 minutes in, you'll see. All right? And of course, if you don't know, tomorrow come early, I'll show you through it again. All right? Here we go. 17. All right, on 17 we can distribute, correct? So I have negative 6x plus 15 minus 7 equals 14. Any issues with that so far? Now, I think the easiest thing to do is to combine terms. 15 minus 7 is what? Negative 6x plus 8 equals 14. Everybody agree with that? And so negative 6x equals 6. So x equals negative 1. Here we go.
I did minus 15 and minus 15.
Now listen to me, guys. Again, I'm truly trying to be nice. So listen, I would prefer that if you did it something different, you should probably do it my way. Now again, you can do things differently, but I promise you with my experience, I know the best, most efficient, most logical way of doing things. That's what I'm always trying to teach you. Always the logic, always the reasoning, so it's easy to understand. If you don't understand what I'm doing, now's the time to say, hey, why did you do that? All right, that's what I want out of you guys. All right, some of you guys are really smart, so you have your own ideas, which is perfectly good. I want your ideas to match up with my ideas. I think that'll make you the best math student. Yes?
I thought you said the variable has to be positive.
I did make it positive.
You said it was negative 1.
Okay, here's what you didn't understand. I understand your question now. It took me a second. Okay, listen. The variable is positive. X is positive. X can equal a negative number, though. You with me? I'll never have this as an answer. Negative x equals 5. That'll never be an answer. Because that x is what? Negative. I want the x to be what? You with me now? My answer can be what? My answer can be negative, but my variable, the final answer is positive. The variable itself is. Agreed? All right. Let's move on. Oh, we got some fractions now. Let's see how good we are with fractions in our head. All right, so I have to go minus 1/2 x minus 1/2 x plus 2 plus 2. 3/4 minus 50 cents is what? 1 what? 1/4. Does everybody see how I did that? All right. Now, of course, everybody here should say in order to add or subtract, we have to have a common denominator. So 1/2 is how many quarters? 2/4, right? So if I have 3/4 minus 2/4, I have what? Bless you. 1/4 x is equal to 9. Is everybody happy with that? So how do I get rid of 1/4? What do? Multiply by the reciprocal. So x is equal to 36. Thank you. X equals 36. Everybody happy with that? Yes, sir. Come on.
How did you get 1/4?
Because 3/4 minus 1/2 is the same as 3/4 minus 2/4, which is equal to 1/4.
So when you're doing a fraction, then you don't divide.
Right. When you're adding and subtracting, you need a common denominator. All right, moving forward, 21. Now I need to go ahead and distribute here, correct? So when I distribute, I end up with negative 12x minus 18 equals 8x plus 78. Yes, sir. You okay with that so far? All right. Now, I'm going to do a plus 12x because I want the variable to be positive, and a minus 78. So 20x is equal to negative, is that right? Negative 96. Anybody else get that?
Yes.
Right. Now it's kind of annoying because 20 doesn't go into 96 evenly, correct? So that means we're going to have a what? Fraction. No decimals, fractions. All right. What? That's all right. Good. All right, so here we go. So x is equal to negative 96 over 20. Is everybody okay with that? And of course, I can reduce it by 4. So if I reduce that by 4, I get negative 19 over what? Wait a minute, not 19. Who said 19? 24. 19 times 4 was 76. Thank you, Mr. Stauffer. You almost had me. Making me look bad on my own video here, man. That was a good job. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Negative 24 fifths. Is everybody happy with that? Now, I know everybody in here knows that's 4.8 negative, right? But still, if you put 4.8, do I care? No. But it's easier to write it as a fraction. Right? Uh-oh. That's okay. No explanation. You were still what? You're still wrong. That's okay. I was wrong once before. It was a long time ago, though. All right. Here we go.
On my backpack, it says that an assignment was due 1 day before it was assigned.
My secretary did that.
No,
was
you've
not
never
me.
been wrong with
No,
that.
it's not with me. Thank you. Never been wrong with math. Thank you. All right, so here we go. Minus 2x, minus 2x, minus 12, minus 12. I have negative 15 equals 5x. Does everybody agree with that? And so now x is equal to negative 3. Bless you.
So if you added 3, then you would.
Well, no, you could have added 3, but then you would have subtracted 7x, right? Let me show you.
Oh, you have to.
Wow, there we go, man. There you go. That's right. You're linking them up, so to speak. You're putting the x's with the x's and the numbers with the numbers.
Yay!
Wow.
Wait, so when you subtract the x's, you have to subtract the
No. You have to do the opposite of what is there. So let me show you that. It's because you're making a good. So see how this was a plus, right?
numbers.
So if I move it, I need to do what? Make it a.
Subtract.
That's right. If it was a plus and I move it, it's going to be a what? Say it. Yes.
Yeah.
Subtract. Yes. You with me?
Yeah, but what if I added, because there is a negative sign in front of 3?
Okay, so here we go. So let's do this again because I like your question. 2x minus 3 equals 7x plus 12. So you did a plus 3, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to move the 7x over, which makes it a minus 7x. So now you say negative 5x is equal to 15.
Oh.
So still x is what? It's still negative 3. What?
So you wouldn't be able to do like minus 2x and minus 3 if you have to move one to the opposite side.
You're trying to put the variables together and the numbers together. That is correct. All right? All right, that's why there's so many of these problems now. All right, you need lots of practice. All right, here we go. Let's check out 25. All right, so in this one, again, we just have to do what again? Cross multiply. Here we go. This will help you. So now it's going to be 5 times 2x plus 1 equals 3 times 3 minus 2x. Are you going to give me a correct answer this time?
Yeah.
All right. So when I distribute, what do I get?
10x plus 5
Wow.
equals 9 minus 6x.
Wow. Very good, Mr. Stauffer. Now, I'm going to do what? Add 6x. Add 6x. Minus 5 minus 5. So this would be 16x equals 4. Now, what's the average kid put down? X equals 4, right? That would be the average person. Since we're not average, we would say the answer is 1/4, actually. Thank you. X equals 1/4. And if you can't see why it's 1/4, you need to pay attention now. All right, x equals 1/4. Hold up. Let me show you. I'm dividing by 16. 4/16 reduces to 1/4. All right, really, your objective tonight is make sure you understand the odds. Go down and do all the odds. How did I know to do what? Because I wanted the variable to be positive. If I subtract 10, it'll make it negative. You agree with that? Yes. Yes. Very good. If it was 4x equals 16. Hey, great job, guys. Great job. Thank you. Odds.
Oh, yeah, sorry.